Whack-a-mole, I have no idea what number this is. A little shout out to the Jazz Bums. Dr. Robert is in the house. He has a new channel. If I haven't told you about his channel, he can fix records, seam splits. He can get into the spine. Former spine surgeon. Link below to his channel. So go subscribe. If you subscribe to his channel and say Mazzy sent you. Okay, Whack-a-mole. We pick 5 random records, but we're gonna. When I usually have a guest, we just kind of pull records and talk about them. So I'm gonna start out. Okay, because it's my channel.
Hey, thanks for the introduction, and people, by the way, my channel is in its infancy compared to Mazzy, and I think most of my subscribers so far are also, either have seen me here or are responding to Mazzy saying something about it. So.
Okay, I'm starting with a little bit of a sunshine pop psychedelic cult band.
Did you pull that without looking at it?
I did. I did not look.
I wasn't
This is a reissue. Jackpot Records is out of Portland, Oregon. And they actually do a pretty nice, I don't know if this is Kevin Gray cut, but this is the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band Volume 2. In fact, this is a really interesting coincidence. While I was packing records up the last couple of days, I have this CD box from Grapefruit Records out of the UK that did these pretty inexpensive but comps, a lot of psychedelic and, early metal, I guess, and proggy kind of box sets on CD. I've been listening to a whole day yesterday of this band. Sunshine pop, psychedelic. They have a little, some of their stuff is infused and very influenced by early Frank Zappa, the early Mothers of Invention. I wouldn't say I know their music really well because I never got these records back in the day, but originals of all their records go for some money. Do you know them?
I do.
Can you say anything about them? I don't know them. They look like a bunch of LA surfers, don't they?
It's definitely an LA band. And Bob Markley was the leader, and he finally changed the name from West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band to Markley. So their last album was just called Markley.
That's like if I had a band called Maslov.
Yeah, I know.
I guess Van Halen worked with Van Halen.
But it may be better than West Coast Pop Art Experimental. It's a little long.
Wow.
I don't know.
But look, you can start a band with your last name. Oh, it's been done. Hart.
He's talking about
Can we say your last name on the
My last name is Hart.
Okay, Hart, but no E.
Yeah, my name is...
Barracuda.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
But see, they kind of...
No reference.
Now look at this. They recreate the reprise.
Yeah, it is pretty.
But not the reprise. The
no,
reprise
it's a
tugboat. Yet
reprise.
instead of the tugboat, they put Jackpot.
So
is this a Kevin Gray cut? Let me see. Who mastered this? Because Kevin Gray... Oh, by the way, this label Jackpot just did those great reissues of the Meters records.
That's what I was going to say. And
do you
now
like
Sam
the
and
Meters?
Dave. I love the Meters, and I love Sam and Dave.
Now,
and I love Jackpot Records, by the way. They've got a store over.
The store is not. I don't love this store. It's a little too.
well,
I never find anything there. But I love their reissued label. I mean, it's an okay. It's on what's that street?
Hawthorne.
Hawthorne.
Yeah.
My son lives near
It's
there.
the hippie district in Portland.
Is it the hippie district?
Yeah, it was once upon when there were hippies.
Keeping
when there were hippies, it was.
Keeping Portland weird.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's a cool record and cool history.
I'll pull another one, and then you can pull some after this. But
Okay, all right.
I'm not looking.
Do 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 do. Do, 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 do.
Oh, I have 2 copies of this. Let me get the other
Do we
one.
need both?
No, but I want the other one because the other one's autographed.
Oh.
This is the Claypool Lennon Delirium. It's Sean Lennon, son of John Lennon, who was born on October 9th, 1975. He was born on John Lennon's birthday. And Les Claypool from Primus. What a friggin' great bass player. They have 2 albums out and an EP. I wish they would kind of do more stuff. They're a little bit of a hybrid of psychedelic and prog and whatever you call modern music now. But that's pretty much what they are. And I really enjoy them. I saw them at the I saw them in Soto at the Seattle Club in Soto. There's one downtown. They have a second. I forgot. I did see them live one, and they were friggin' great. And I got this at the show. Sean Ono Lennon. And I mean, listen to these songs. If these don't sound like typical cliche prog titles, the monolith of Phobos, Cricket and the Genie, Movement 1, The Delirium, Cricket and the Genie, movement 2. Oratorio di Cricket.
Yeah.
Talk about pretentious prog shit. But you know, I'm sure they have a little sort of a tongue-in-cheek Mr. Right.
Rightwright.
Boomerang Baby. Breath of a Salesman. See what they did there?
Very clever. Very
Yes.
clever.
Captain Larjet. Om Erica. Like Omerica. America. Om.
I don't get it.
Om.
No, I get it.
Om.
I do get
It's a
it.
California
I get
joke.
it. I get it.
Oxcontin Girl.
Oxycontin.
Oxycontin. That's
Yeah, that's not good.
Doc. How would you
Stay away.
Okay. Bubbles burst and there's no underwear in space. I don't think I've ever looked at the song titles on this record. Talk about pretentious jack off shit. But this is a good record. I love both their records. Why don't you?
I don't know. I don't know that much about that.
I'll show this one.
He was what, 6 years old when his father was killed.
5. Yeah.
5, 6
yeah.
years old.
Just 5 years old.
Yeah,
you
very
know?
sad.
Yeah. I met Yoko and Sean once when Sean was 10. Anyway, a cool record. So the Doc's gonna pull a record. Now you're not. Did you look?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. I started to, and then I realized I shouldn't. But I liked the record I pulled.
Okay, talk about it.
Well, I have a copy. So Brownie McGee and Sonny Terry. I just bought a record yesterday by Sonny Terry without Brownie McGee. And it's funny, I played it, and it has a song that Woody Guthrie clearly is singing on called The Silver Fox Hunt, maybe? Silver Fox something. And he's uncredited. So it's like this. Well, this is on Smithsonian, not Folklore, but the original was on the Folklore
This
label.
is a 2018 reissue of a 1958 recording. So this is not an original.
Yeah. Well, and those old Folklore albums, I mean, they're all great. They all had a
Folkways.
Folkways, thank you. Booklet in there, as well as the record. The pressings are all, thick vinyl, nicely done. And the only thing I would say, and it's not a negative necessarily, but it is really difficult to distinguish original Folkways labels and pressings from their later pressings. Like Blue Note, they would put out a batch of records just enough that they knew they would sell, and when those were sold, seemingly they would put out another one, and that would be the next pressing. And they wouldn't really update the labels or the packaging much, so it's really hard. You can mainly tell because their address changes, again, similar to Blue Note. So Brownie McGee, Sonny Terry, they were contemporaries of Woody Guthrie. These are, very early folk blues singers, all acoustic typically.
One play harmonica, one play guitar.
Right, and just authentic American music.
Yeah. And there was a great, 2 years ago now, I think it's been or so, an album influenced by their early recordings, Get On Board, that Ry Cooder and Taj Mahal and Joaquin Cooder did. They replicated the cover and did that. So I'm going to pick something else. Let's each pick. You go that
simultaneous?
I'll go this way.
Okay, that sounds dangerous, but...
You want to go first?
Sure.
I like that record. I like that band.
I like this band too. I don't know this particular record. I would buy it if I saw it in.
You got to say it because we sometimes have blind people watching our show.
Yeah. Well, the title of the record is Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen. But this is not, even though it doesn't have a title beyond the title of the band. This is not the first album by that band.
Their first one was it on ABC on Paramount Records.
That's right.
And then they went to Warner Brothers.
Right. So this may be their first for Warner Brothers.
They had like a mixture of country swing, a little Bob Wills thing,
Right.
a little rockabilly. They were like a hybrid.
Where we were just talking about this.
Oh, because we sold some in the auction.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So one of you lucky buyers bought some in the Dizzy auction. I love this band.
They're great. They're great.
They're fun records.
They are.
Hot Rod Lincoln was on their first album. That
Right.
was
That's probably their biggest hit. I
yeah,
think.
and that's not an original. That's a cover,
Right.
actually.
That was who did the original on that one?
I don't know.
Johnny Bond, I think. Johnny Bond on Star.
Now this band, Sunflower Bean, I have a little. My friend Jazz Shit Brooks turned me on to them because of a South by Southwest performance they did. They're like this trio, and their first album they did. This is 2013. This is like an EP, and then they did a first album which I adore. It's kind of modern psychedelia, really great. It's a trio of a drummer, a woman, this woman model-like bass player, which I hate to say, like statuesque blonde woman. She actually does some modeling too, so I'm not wrong saying model-like. And this great kind of lead guitar thing. They got a little more. I have like 3 of their albums, and I saw them live. And the thing is, I saw them live twice. Once I absolutely loved them. The second time I loved them, but the opening act just blew me away. It was called Lemon Twigs. This group with 2 brothers that are very power poppy. I've done things on them. I don't want to digress. There's a song on here called Tame Impala. Well, we know about that Australian, is it New Zealand, Australian project by that band Tame Impala. But, I don't know their songs individually. I like them live better than I like their records now. The first full album I enjoyed. Then after a while, I got a little tiresome of them. But Sunflower Bean, from Brooklyn, I think, interesting band.
I've never heard of them. I don't know them. I guess I would make 2 comments that don't even relate to the band or the music. Number one is it's on Fat Possum Records, an independent label, and there's a few of these independent labels now that I pretty much trust that almost anything they're putting out is going to be worth hearing. They're very selective of the bands they end up with. Second is this cover. It's really cool. It reminds me. It's like an MC Escher print, right? So they're holding a mirror.
A mirror
here.
and a mirror and a mirror.
Yeah, there. That's my input.
Okay, you go pick something else. I'm going to show this. Okay. Now, I'm not happy with this pull, and I'm going to probably throw this record away or give it away because I have other records that are better. Now, I love Steppenwolf. Obviously, partially Canadian band. We all know Sookie Sookie cover song they did, but obviously The Pusher, Born to Be Wild, and now this is a greatest hits. Super Saver, which is a budget line. ABC was sold to MCA. I lost my job because of that, so I'm pissed off. I don't love this period of MCA and the pressings and the sound of these. So I am going to... Do you want this album? Do you have this album?
I don't.
Do you want it? It's yours. I'm giving it to you.
Okay.
I have a better... Actually, Chad Kassem did a greatest a comp of Steppenwolf, which is amazing, an audiophile version. But this is... okay, this is interesting because it has that stamp. This is around the time when ABC was sold. Originally came out in 73. Kind of a cheese-ass cover. And great band. What is it? Born to Be Wild, and what's the other big one? Magic Carpet Ride, of course. They got even more famous because of the movie Easy Rider, of course. That's your record.
Oh my. Okay. Well, thank you. I don't have a lot of Steppenwolf in my collection. We've all got blank spots. That's one for me. So I actually, this is what just came out. So this is a Sinatra record, and it's one I don't have. And ring-a-ding-ding, cool cover. It's on the 3-tone Reprise label that was Frank's custom label. Of course, he was the founder of the label, so he deserved to have his own.
What Frank wants, Frank gets.
Hey, he was the boss, right? No, he's not the boss. He was. What was their nickname for him? The boss is Springsteen. Sinatra was
the chairman of the board.
Chairman of the board. That's it. Yeah. But what I'll say about this, looking at it, and I have a lot of Frank Sinatra. I mean, he considered himself a jazz guy, right? So this had Bud Shank on it. It had liner notes by Ralph Gleason. I mean, the song
Central Chronicle. He was the Central Chronicle jazz critic. but also became a very big champion of the San Francisco psychedelic scene, the Grateful Dead and Jefferson Airplane, and co-founder with Jan Wenner of Rolling Stone magazine.
There you go. I did not know that history, but he wrote a lot of liner notes for jazz records, for sure.
Did. There was a TV show on KQED, the public broadcasting. You can see a lot of it on YouTube, where he had the famous like goatee, mustache, and a big pipe, and he would introduce like John Coltrane and all these great jazz. You can see in black and white, San Francisco PBS station. Seek those out; they're amazing.
There you go. And the song titles here: "Ring a Ding Ding," "Let's Fall in Love," "A Fine Romance," "In the Still of the Night," "The Coffee Song," "You'd Be So Easy to Love." I mean, these are just great. I'm sure it's a great record, and I don't even know if some of these may have been on previous records, but my goodness, what a legacy.
I was thinking the other day of this photographer Norman Seeff, who took these great pictures of Joni Mitchell. And this picture,
by the way, nice martini. I just want to acknowledge.
Thank you.
Mazzy, and I've said this before. Mazzy makes a nice martini.
True. Now this picture cover is very suggestive. Norman Seeff, as I said, was a photographer who worked with a lot of great celebrities and rock and roll people. I love his work, and he did a bunch of albums, not only for Joni Mitchell, but for Carly Simon. This is one of them. This is probably one of the most suggestive albums. Interesting, I would like to be a fly on the wall when they were looking at the proof sheet and they picked this record.
Can I guess the record without seeing it?
Yeah.
Is it Playing Possum?
Yes, of course it is.
Hey.
I mean, go girl, right? This is gonna be a thumbnail. You know the thumbnail for the video.
Oh yeah, there you go. Hey, couldn't have a better thumbnail.
But I like her records, of course. Anticipation on her first record. These were produced by Richard Perry, who had a great career working with obviously Harry Nilsson and Ringo Starr, and great producer in the early '70s. And Attitude Dancing was the single of this. Not one of her biggest singles, of course. You're So Vain.
Was You So Vain? It's not on this record.
No, You're So Vain was on another record. Come on. Carly Simon. Not to be confused with Paul Simon.
Right.
Her records are actually really great records.
I have very little of her. In fact, I don't think I have a single solo.
God damn it! I don't have No Secrets.
I have her stuff with her sister, the Simon sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cuttlebug.
Here's a little trivia thing. I had a girlfriend who was a DJ at a radio station in San Francisco, and she's from the East Coast and lived up in the Berkshires and all that area. And we drove up to Saugerties, New York, and Woodstock. And one night, we stayed at a house owned by John and Joanna Hall, and John Hall was a member of New Orleans, not New Orleans, Orleans. Remember that ridiculous cover with they're not wearing shirts?
Yeah, they're not my favorite.
Yeah, but anyway, Still the One was a hit, and
it's
but
yacht rock. Are they yacht rock? You would maybe call them.
Could be. Yeah. But Nancy and I slept in a bed that Carly Simon and James Taylor slept in. How cool is that? And this was only like a few years. This was 1978. So this is like 2 years or a year or two after Carly Simon and James Taylor slept in that bed.
Do you know, had they washed the sheets since then? Did you ask? just curious.
Okay.
Yeah, do you see that I silenced Mazzy? And that is not easy to do. And so.
Ow, I'm sorry. I just got a flu shot today in my arm.
He's not quite himself.
That's what she said. Don't show it to me. Show it to me.
So this is a band I really like, Social Distortion, and I have this record, and their early stuff is very sought after and hard to find. This is Mommy's Little Monster, punk rock, and really, I think it fits in punk, but I got to say, this is not angry punk. This is rock and roll music, and it really comes across, I think, as just fun, interesting rock and roll. Now, reading the song titles, I'm thinking, well, Mommy's Little Monster, Hour of Darkness.
Apparently, this is the seminal 1983 debut album of America punk rock icons.
There you go.
And I bought it for $23 at Amoeba.
That's a steal.
I think that might be a Kevin Gray cut.
It's definitely.
You don't know about...
I do know Kevin Gray. I know.
Let me see.
I don't know this specific
Kraft
record.
Records, Kraft. This is a reissue. It's not an original.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't see.
but a great record. Great record. Great.
Yeah, it
band.
is a great record. It is a great record.
Yeah. Can we play that after the?
Yeah,
After
hold
the
on to it.
recording, I'd love to hear it.
Okay. Boots. Nancy Sinatra. He showed Frank. I showed daughter Nancy. What a great bunch of records. Now, I have some of originals, but I've been getting some of these Light in the Attic reissues, authorized by Nancy Sinatra. She's involved. Expanded, gatefolds. Look at that. Look at that. There's the whole thing. This series of records. What a great combination of Nancy Sinatra and Lee Hazlewood.
That's what I was going to say.
Now, Light in the Attic did an expansive, and I wish I jumped in early, and I didn't. I think I have 4 of the Light in the Attic albums of Lee Hazlewood. Interesting records and amazing records. I'm digressing here. I'm pivoting a bit, but the Lee Hazlewood album, the Lady and the Cowboy, I think it's called. Is that right?
Yeah, the lady, that's one.
With Anne Margaret.
That's Anne Margaret.
With Anne Margaret. What an amazing record.
Yeah.
But
That's
of course, this has My Boots Are Made for Walking, song written by Lee Hazlewood.
Yeah, that's such a great.
If you have an originals, a lot of this stuff you can get cheap, getting the originals, but it has been a really, in fact, they did a great comp. This is a fantastic comp, and is a double record. This is Nancy Sinatra, Start Walking, 1965 to 1976. Now, you're a former spine surgeon. Did you ever, after you have an operation, talk to your patients that, excuse me, patient, start walking? Is that too soon?
Well, so I would have to contextualize that, but never immediately. I would
Because
say.
there could
Never
be
immediately.
issues.
There
obviously.
are points. There are times when you got to kind of get people over the fear of being more active again. Yeah.
But look at Bang Bang, of course, and used
Bang Bang,
beautifully in the Tarantino film.
Isn't that Sonny and Cher?
Yeah, Sonny and Cher song. But this version of it was used with the great lead guitar, slow vibrato, reverb-drenched guitar used in that great Tarantino film, Part 1 and Part 2.
Oh,
Samurai. Kill Bill. Oh, my God. That opens up the record. These boots were made for walking Sugartown, Song Babe. But one of my favorite is Some Velvet Morning. That's like a pop psychedelia. That's such a dirty song. Dirgy song.
I think,
Jackson, of course, made famous by, or who did the original? Was this the original?
I think Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash and Mrs. Cash?
Yeah, Johnny and Mrs.
June
Cash.
Carter
June
Cash.
Carter Cash, yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got to seek out. I have picked up some Lee Hazlewood. His stuff, I honestly don't completely understand why it's sort of pricey, his original records.
Well, go for reissues.
I know. Well, but I'm
The
just...
Doc and I have a little different take on this. I don't mind originals. He's not really into reissues that much.
That's right. But we're both, I think we both cross over, right? So I like
not anyone's
both.
better.
I like
it's
both.
not that
And there's no
better.
judgment.
No.
I like both. And I'm warming to reissues. And I've said, I think reissues now, a lot of them are better. Sound quality and sound
different.
Yeah, they're different. But they're maybe closer to what the artists actually wanted, which is, I think, the key issue.
Or the recording.
Yeah, of the actual recording, right?
Maybe not of the way it was mastered at the time.
Right.
When you'd have to compromise because of the playback.
The techniques are better now. The effects they have.
You can talk about this.
This one I like. Yeah.
Talk about this, Doc.
All right. Well, so I lived in Berkeley from 1980. 5 to 88, and down on Telegraph Ave, there was Rasputin Records, which is still there, and there was Amoeba Records, which is still there, and there were other record venues that you could buy vinyl, and that's where I first became acquainted with John Fahey, and of course his record label Tacoma is out of
And he had
Berkeley.
was Sandy Bull on there? But Leo Kottke was.
No,
I don't know about Sandy Bull.
Yeah, Sandy Bull was on Vanguard. Yeah,
right.
But other
Primitive guitar. That's
right.
kind of the.
It's all. There were other solo guitar people that were on Tacoma and some other acts, but yeah, you said Leo Kottke and Peter Lang, I think, was on it, and I don't know, there are some others, but John Fahey again. These records came out in small batches, were then repressed. Covers were changed, the labels were changed at times. I saw him finally in Portland. He retired up into Oregon, lived in Oregon, and he suffered disease, I think, from Epstein-Barr virus, and I think he was
This is the medical moment from Dr. Robert.
Yeah,
no, don't apologize.
It's also a musical moment.
We should have medical moments in all the Vinyl Community videos.
Whatever. So, so John Fahey, when I saw him, I was expecting this kind of strumming and picking and classical guitar technique, and instead he did this electric drone stuff that, in
1967. This is when Sgt. Pepper came out.
Yeah, this was, and this stuff, it is all just, to me, it's just all so good and so listenable. And he had a great sense of humor too, by the way, and his records reflect that. But this is a great one. I don't know. So this is maybe his second record, Volume 2, and he had the first four records had these secondary titles, and this one is Death Chants, Breakdowns, and Military Waltzes. I mean, how authentic can you be? But so by the time I saw him, he was sadly not his original self, is the way it came across to me. But great influence, great impact, great talent.
Okay, we're going to end this now. He'll pick one more, but we're going to end. This is my last offering. And I did pick this randomly, and this is such a sense memory throwback to 1962. I was 8 years old, grammar school. We lived down in Menlo Park, California, South San Francisco for a few years down there. And I remember this record so vividly. Now you can sing along with the Limeliters. The Limeliters, don't laugh.
I'm sorry.
You're mocking me.
No, I'm not at all.
Don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, he doesn't like to be touched.
There's a look what happened to sniffing my head like Joe Biden or doing what like all the
I don't know what you're talking about.
Giuliani and
What?
Okay. Little folk songs for adults through children's eyes. I remember our teacher playing this every afternoon on those school record players. I don't know what they're called, but I remember this record. This is one of the first records I got into. And of course, I'd come home and my mom and dad would buy Alan Sherman, like My Son the Nut, My Son the Folk Singer. That was their Jewish version of folk singing. Although, you got Alex Hazlewood and Lou Gottlieb, right? Yeah. And they got the great Glenn Yarborough. Of course, Glenn Yarborough. Baby, the Rain Must Fall, right? And they had the lyrics. We'd sing the lyrics on this record player. And this is The Train, The Whale, Joining the Game, I Had a Mule, Lollipop Tree, The Riddle Song, Staying in the Sunny Side. This is where I first heard This Land Is Your Land, the Woody Guthrie. So this is the album that got me as a young 7-year-old into the commie folk scene. Okay, the left wing commie Woody Guthrie, For the People, Union, the workers' rights folk scene because of this. Recorded in none other than the commie capital. What's the commie capital of America?
San Francisco?
No, Berkeley, California.
Oh, Berkeley, yeah.
You just
Berkeley,
talked about
more
Berkeley.
than San Francisco.
This was recorded in Berkeley, California. Engineer Al Schmidt. Oh my God, this is a kick-ass record. 1962, $3.98. I didn't get this originally. I found this probably in the last 20 years. But I got this because of, I mean, look at this.
Does this have a Berkeley connection?
I don't, it recorded in Berkeley.
Does it say that?
It's recorded in Berkeley, California, right
that's
there.
amazing.
See? You lived in Berkeley.
I did. 62. This would have been like very early, free speech movement timing.
A second show was given in San Francisco at the Masonic Memorial Auditorium.
You know,
And guess who wrote the liner notes to this record?
Could it be Ralph Gleason?
Ralph J. Gleason, yes. I knew his son Toby Gleason from the record business. Toby owns the archive of Ralph J. Gleason. So everything comes around full circle.
Through children's eyes.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty fucking great, man. Can I say fuck in front of a children's record? I don't know. But you got all the lyrics. This train, don't just train.
It is cool.
You better get your ticket ready, prepare to get on board. My chain's gonna come.
I got to show this. Look at I mean, you maybe already did, but look at these photos.
That might be me.
Oh, it could have been, I don't know. How old were you in 62?
I just said 7.
7, I'm sorry. So this child is not yet 7, but there are some others in the audience that might be. But isn't that fun seeing children just enjoying?
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. God.
This guitar kills fascists. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we need a little of that these days.
Yeah,
we got some fascists to dispose of.
You got two libtards here.
We got some fascists to dispose of.
So your final...
I love that record. So let me just say...
but this is pretty great. I mean, even if you're like a right-winger... I don't know why you're watching this, or left wing or whatever. I mean, this is sentimental shit, and that's when you have music classes in schools, and now it's a far cry from that kind of stuff.
I certainly did not mean to belittle that. Let me just say. I will say I don't have a single.
You don't have to belittle me
record.
because I'm taller than you.
You are taller than me, but but that was not my intention.
We're here all night, folks.
Yeah.
Actually, this is our last record.
You want to do it?
Promo copy.
Oh my
That's my
God.
promo copy.
Oh my God. So this is a very rare record to find. This is an original pressing of the television marquee Moon. And it's particularly pertinent because Tom Verlaine just passed away.
Last couple of years.
Yeah, recently. I was just...
White label promo.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I got this from my lecture rep. We Warner Brothers rep.
We're all jealous of that. And I just saw Patti Smith, and she dedicated a song to Tom Verlaine, and I think it was Marquee Moon. She did a television song, and I'm pretty sure it was Marquee Moon. And I don't know what to say. He was on the scene at the birth of American punk rock at CBGB's and American New Wave. Their band predated Talking Heads, and I think Talking Heads drew a lot of inspiration from...
Where did he get his name?
Tom Verlaine?
Yes.
You mean the television or Tom Verlaine?
Tom Verlaine.
I don't know that. I always thought television is like
a French poet, right?
Was it?
Kind of like
I thought it was
Jim
his real
Morrison
name. It's not his real name?
Nope.
Okay.
And who was the other great guitar player in this band?
Lloyd Cole, or Richard Lloyd.
Lloyd Cole. The Commotions, really?
I'm close.
There's a great album called Alchemy by Richard Lloyd.
I have.
I only have a CD. Is it out?
I have. No, yeah, it was. Oh, that was put out on vinyl. Yeah.
It's such a great record.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great band, right? And has a Fred Smith, but it's not Fred Sonic Smith of the MC5 that was married to Patti Smith.
It's not the same guy?
I don't think it is. He's on bass and vocals. I shouldn't say that it's not, but I don't think it is.
I thought it was.
You think it is?
I think it is.
Okay.
But someone in the
the
comments is going to tell me
let's
and
get
tell
a comment
both
on
of us.
that, because I don't know. But this record,
I mean, there's not many Fred Smiths in the world, probably.
There could well be, but at any rate, great record, great legacy, and nice one to end on. You sure that's
great?
it?
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
We're going to switch off the television now. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. Link below. Go subscribe to this guy because he knows as much shit as I know, but just different shit. We know a lot of shit, but different shit, and he is more technical than I am. I'm more sloppy and loosey-goosey. But thanks for watching. Mazzy loves you.
So can I amplify that?
You can amplify it.
Yeah, so I think we have a thing also, right, that we can just kind of bounce things off each other, and there's never a judgment, right? Never a judgment. Do you agree?
I'm always judgmental.
Yeah. Okay. Except for me, no judgment. But yeah, you want to cut that out, I think.
No, I'm not I don't cut anything out of these videos.
Okay.
Because it would be cheating if you cut anything out of a whack-a-mole. The whole premise of whack-a-mole is spontaneous reality.
Well, let me say, this guy is ethical to the ends of the earth, and he's just always fun. And I agree with what he said. I don't know about the specifics, but we overlap. We're like, we're like those two circles that there's like a big piece that overlaps, and then there's like a piece on either side that's not overlapping. What do you call that?
My ding-a-ling.
I don't know how to describe that technically, but
No,
I think we've made it understandable.
I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Good night, Doc.
Cheers.
See you later.